So this video is going to be about how to divide a number by a decimal. Okay? So this is a lot more challenging than the other. Students always get confused about where to put these decimal places. So I'm going to try to be really clear when I write down my steps. So steps are going to be, first step, you're going to count the number of decimal places in the divisor. And move the decimal point that many places to the right. Okay? So you're going to count the number of decimal places in the divisor. Now I want to remind you guys what the divisor is. Okay? You have the dividend, that's the number that's being divided, and you divide it by the divisor. In other words, the divisor is the number that's outside of the division sign. Okay? So another way to look at it is the dividend goes inside, the divisor goes on the outside. So you move the decimal place in the divisor to the right. Step 2. Now you're going to move the decimal point in the dividend the same number of places to the right. And just as a side note, add zeros if necessary. Okay. Finally, step 3, divide like before. So once you've moved those decimal places over, that's when you can just divide like you did before. Alright, well let's do a couple of example problems to get used to this method. So I want us to divide 10.8 divided by 0.18. 10.8 divided by 0.18. Alright, I'm going to set this up here. I write 10.8 divided by 0.18. So the first step says that we want to move the decimal point, count the number of decimal places in the divisor and move that many places to the right. So notice here I've got 2 decimal places. I'm going to move it over 1, 2. But then on the next step it says move the decimal point in the dividend the same number of places. So since that moved twice, I've got to move this guy over 1, 2. Which means I have to add a 0 here. So let's rewrite it then. I have 1080 divided by 18. This is my new problem. So let's figure out what we get. First, how many times does 18 go into 108? I think it goes in 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4 is 10. Subtract, we get 0. And so the answer is just 60. Okay, you got to be really careful with this decimal point stuff because this is where I see all the mistakes. All right, let's try another one. We have 1.04 divided by negative 0.2. Okay, so I do it again. I write down 1.04 and I'm going to divide it by 0.2. Okay, but I want you to remember, when we're doing division, we've got to move this guy first. That moved once, so I've got to move this guy also once. And so if I rewrite this, I get 2 into 10.4. So this is my new problem. So now we divide as before. So how do we divide this? Let's see. If you haven't reviewed this, please watch the other video first on how to divide a decimal by a whole number. We bring the decimal point up, and then we just divide. Goes in 5 times. Drop the 4. It goes in twice. So the answer is 5.2, but wait. Positive divided by negative is negative. So the answer is negative 5.2. Alright, let's do one more example. It's going to be problem 3. We're going to do negative 8.1 divided by 0.025.